Good morning. I think we are live, Sissy. Good morning,
Good.
officially.
Good morning, Snowball, and good morning, PAICTA.
How are you in Netherlands this morning? I think it's in order to say good morning.
Good.
You look good.
Thank you.
You've done your hair. You've done. You look good. You look good. You look good. You know, in the backstage, I'm sure people are going to laugh when we're still sitting on the backstage. You're combing your hair, and I can see what you wanted to achieve. Good morning, patients. This is radio, basically 78.5 Pan African Voice. This is the first time we broadcast officially. We are on air today, and we are blessed with Patient Chidong from the EU. Patience is the owner and founder of EuroAfriLink. EuroAfriLink is an organization that is there to ensure that the Africans are able to engage and trade with the EU. It's important for Africa development and growth of commercial and small scale farmers to export their produce and be able to do it in a productive and a competitive and a qualitative way. Patience is here today to share with us, and this show that we have for the first time, AgriTech and Access to International Markets. Good morning, Sisi.
Good morning, Snowball. Good morning, PAICTA. And I'm really very honored and happy to be here today. I am really looking forward to sharing with you what we do at EuroAfriLink and who I am in a nutshell. So thank you.
I think, Sisi, you need to load your slides while we're talking so that you can present, do your presentation, and we can have a discussion afterwards. I hope people are listening, and those that are not listening, who could not make it for today, it is going to be on Facebook. And it is going to be on YouTube. We must say that we are privileged to have you.
Please, can you see my slides?
Yes, I can see your slides. Can you go into slideshow?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I can see you are on empowering African SMMEs through trade. Let's listen to you and take it from there.
Okay. So thank you, Snowball, and thank you, everyone. And you are really highly welcome to this AgriTech and Access to International Markets talk show. Today, I'm going to talk to you about empowering African SMEs through trade. I want to start by borrowing this quotation, which says, "Information is power," and sharing the information makes it even more powerful. So let's go. Let's start.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. So I will start by talking a little bit about who I am. So
AgriTech and Access to International.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will start by saying, who is Patience Chindong? So Patience Chindong originally comes from Cameroon. and she studied at the University of Yaoundé, one in Cameroon. I and I am Patience Chindong, and the point is that I used to really assist my mother. She usually takes me along to do her interview, since she was a journalist in Cameroon at the Cameroon Radio Television. So I saw the way she was interacting with farmers, and I really saw that vital information is really very important for these farmers to grow their business and to take it to a whole new level. This actually motivated me to come to the Netherlands to be able to study and develop myself to be able to assist these farmers. So I attended Van Ho. First of all, I attended Van Ho Larenstein, then later Wagner University. And here I study applied communication science. And Wagner University is the world-renowned university when it comes to agriculture. So I studied applied communication science. I did my minor in food technology, food hazard, and food law in international settings. I really wanted to use my knowledge to be able to assist smallholder farmers in particular, because information knowledge is really very scarce, especially with these farmers who want to grow their businesses. So I really wanted to make sure that I use my knowledge to be able to bridge this information gap. So I studied this knowledge. Then later I started EuroAfric in June 2018. And with EuroAfric, what we do basically is that we link agri producers to international markets, to growth fund, and to education. But today I will concentrate only on the aspect of trade. Let me go to the next slide. Okay. So what is the context? Sustainability is at the center of every discussion today. Everybody wants to go green. They want to produce in a way that is sustainable for the planet, for the people, and also sustainable profit. And then strengthening Europe African collaboration in agriculture that really brings together the benefit for both parties is really very important today. And we are really looking forward to the EU-AU's trade summit, which is coming up this February on the 17th and 18th, to talk about this collaboration, especially when it comes to trade. The context today is also that improvement in EU-AU relationship has really encouraged Africa to really perform very well when it comes to trade and export. Then there is a changing relationship between Europe and Africa in the sense that it is moving away from aid to trade. And this is really very important because it will help to empower Africa, especially the women who made up 60% of SMEs in Africa. It will also help to remove Africa from the poverty line. Africa is seen as an investment destination rather than a source of raw material. People want to invest more in Africa rather than just sourcing from them. And then COVID-19 has really reshaped the way agriculture and trade is being done. It has also really shown us how interconnected we are. So what is the story of EuroAfric? So we are based in Wageningen, Center of the Agricultural Research in the Netherlands. EuroAfric is a social enterprise, and we specialize in connecting African agribusinesses to European entrepreneurs and investors in agriculture. The idea is to attract investment for projects which can close the gender gap and create economic independence for women that is smart, that is inclusive, is sustainable, and fair. I just want to emphasize here that the attracting this investment is not only for women entrepreneurs, but for all of Africa. But the point is that we want to make sure that when women are involved in any business, they shouldn't work more because they are women, or they shouldn't pay less because they are women. So we want to forge a collaboration between Africa and Europe in trade, in growth funds, and in education, as I said earlier. We also have a relationship with the EU Tech and Chamber here in Europe, the EU. So what is our relationship then with the EU Tech, and we are specifically with the African chapter? So we assist the EU Tech to assess and understand the appropriate information needs of SMEs in Africa so as to be able to disseminate information and really be able to help them where they really do need this help. We want to strengthen the African Europe relationship and collaborate, especially through technology, especially like the solar energies, technologies that can really help to sustain our planet. And what we do also is that we help to contribute to the white paper of the African chapter. So, writing about Africa, if we want to collaborate, which are the areas that we collaborate. And this is also based on our experience working with smallholder farmers. So, what are our goals? So, we exist as Eurafric Link to bridge the market gap between Africa and producers and European consumers. We are the gateway to African agri product, and we want to support smallholder farmers in this process. We assist and also ensure that there is a sustainable product for EU consumers, and so that they are really happy with this, and we do that using technology. We are here to enable a conducive environment for Africans to be able to export to Europe stress-free. We try to disseminate information to African exporters and guide the EU on how to do business with Africa. COVID-19 has really reshaped the way we do trade. It has disrupted the value chain. It has influenced regulations. So, in this aspect, you really need someone to be able to assist you in this new journey. We want to promote agricultural entrepreneurs and create a decent job and steady income for smallholder farmers that are involved in business from Africa. So, what are we passionate about? We are really passionate about greater inclusion for women and young people in agriculture. We want to empower this group through a regional and international trade that is free, that is fair, and that is durable, and that meets standards both at the regional level and also at the international level. We want to mobilize this farmers group to enhance their knowledge, their skills, and their bargaining capacity vis-a-vis the other suppliers in this value chain. We want to accept, we strongly believe that digitalization of Africa will open up new opportunities for new people to get engaged in agriculture because they actually learn faster more than their elderly counterparts. What we are also passionate about is to engage farmers in sustainable production through access to information, knowledge, and technology. We are also passionate about creating trade channel from Africa, for Africa agri produce to European markets. So to facilitate this process, both for the EU buyers that want to source from Africa and also from African producers that want to export to Europe. We also want to assist African adopt technology to make sure that their goods are acceptable in the world market. Because when they do this, then they will certainly at some point meet up with the standards that EU wants and also increase their production, their productivity, and their profit margins. So, what is then the relationship with the EU Tech and Africa? The EU Tech uh, the European Technology Chamber, which we usually call in short EU Tech, is a registered NGO, and their mission is to make sure that Europe use technology for the good of Europe and that for mankind. The EU Tech has three major goals and believes that technology is the key to reach these goals. which is competitiveness both for European companies and also for their partners, sustainability and growth. As such, their slogan always is technology obliges. So you can check them out using this link. So why is EU tech really important for Africa? It make Africa more competitive with their European counterpart using technology from Europe, and they use this technology as well to support the United Nations SDG goals, especially the context of Africa. The EU Tech also support advocates who are registered at the EU Tech with resources to be able to achieve their goals. So also the EU Tech support African businesses through their African chapter. And with this African chapter, SMEs like you and me can register. That is why EuroAfric is with me representing EuroAfric. We are an advocate at the EU Tech. The EU Tech also have African Alliance where they assist EU and AU companies to be more competitive, create create access to market, business development, matchmaking, and networking opportunities for these companies to be able to achieve their goals. They also organize webinars and networking programs to create awareness and dialogue among tech companies and businesses. And with all these activities, you see that it really perfectly fits in with the Agenda 2060. That is the African that we want, and the European Union and their goals to achieve a sustainable planet, which really matches with what we are about. That is also why Europe is number one African trading partner. So these are some of the countries, as you can see here, these are some of the countries that the EU Tech is currently active in. And these are some of the priority sectors that they are engaged in. They are engaged in climate friendly activities and power supply. They are also engaged in clean water and proper sanitation, capacity building, and tech transfer to really ensure that produces SMEs they produce in a sustainable way and using technology like solar, like wind, which is green energy, to and this will also really help that their product is really competitive at the world market. So they also help to increase agricultural production, waste management, and improve community infrastructure. So what is then our business model for the import export? How do we really assist smallholder farmers to be able to export their product in Europe? The thing is, to be able to export to Europe, there are certain challenges. And one of it is product fit. How do you make sure that your product actually fits international standards? And when I mean by a product, it means at this stage, we really encourage that you have something to be able to sell in the world market, be it mango, be it avocado, something and not a service at this point. Of course, people also come to us to say we have this idea in our heads and we want to implement it. How does that work? In that case, it will be difficult for you to go to a buyer and say, I want to produce avocado. I want you to agree that you will buy it, whereas they have not yet seen the avocado. They don't know what you intend to produce. That one is a little bit difficult. So at the moment, we want people who already have a product. Or even if you want to establish a product, we can also still work that out. But to make profit or to have a trade, you need to have a product. Next is, how does that product guarantee quality? Because if you say you have a product are either organic or conventional. Either way, you have to really specify which type of product you have. If you say you have quality product or organic product, then you should be able to have certificate to prove that. Next of the challenge is whether the product actually meets EU procedures. What do I mean by EU procedures? It's actually the regulations, the policy to be able to export abroad. Do you know how this is done? And do you know which of these regulations that the buyer also need? Because at times you have to adjust your product to be able to meet the buyer's demand to be able to export as well. And then what is the does your product ensure productivity? Because honestly speaking, to be able to export from Africa to Europe, you really need technology to be at the center to be able to achieve this. It is not possible to just take your product like you take in local markets. It is crossing borders, going to another continent. So you really need technology to really showcase your product and make your product stands out. Finally, is how do you ensure a regular trade? How do you make sure that when a buyer buys from you, they keep buying from you so as to increase your profit margins? So our solution is that we have developed a training program which, based on our experience working with buyers and producers from Africa, we came up with these different steps that can really enable them to export abroad stress-free. And this is this is the design of the training program. So this is just to facilitate it, put all the laws and all the procedures, the steps that you need to do that hazard-free. So how has our solution worked in real life? You see the case of the Nilotica shea butter. The, the, the nuts are harvested from the tree, mostly by the women. Of course, the men are involved in it as well. These nuts are processed using technology. As I said, technology is the key to ensure that quality product and to make sure that the standard is really what is needed in the EU. Then the product is exported here in the Netherlands, where I am based, and here I am collecting the product. This is how the product looks like. And you can either transform this product in jars yourself or take it down to the buyer right to their doorstep, because that is also the added advantage that we do. We help to distribute your product for you. We represent you in front of the buyer and negotiate as well for you. So some of the product that we are really engaged in is with fruits and vegetables. You see, for example, avocados and mangoes. And we really want to make sure that we ensure a smart trade. We want a product where you see the strength of Europe in it and that of Africa as well. Because, for example, with this mango, you can either do mango butter from it, which is also used for cosmetic, or you can also, with some companies here in the Netherlands, they transform mangoes into leather jackets, leather wallets, and also shoes. And so you can really see that this mango is being produced in Africa. It is being transformed in Europe. So you see this final product with the strength of Europe and Africa in it, which is, for me, is really amazing. And then we are also into oils, butter, and powder. For example, you see the shea butter also from Ghana. We also have the Nilotica shea butter that I mentioned earlier from Uganda. We have the cocoa butter, mango butter, moringa powder. We have cocoa beans as well, and nuts like cashew nuts. These are just some of the product that we are involved in import export. So these are some of our proud partners, and PAICTA is really one of our partners that we work with in terms of this technology to assess also the African community. And since they are on the ground, they really also help being our eyes on the ground to be able to communicate directly with those who really do need our services. And this is also why we really partner with them, because of their technological experience. So I just want to say, why not you to be able to export abroad this year? Why don't you take it as your goal this year to take your business to the next level? and why not now? You see that the pandemic has really disrupted everything that we knew of. It is really now the time to do things differently, and you really need somebody to really help you in this process. So we are here to assist you. The action time is now. I really encourage you to take that first step today and to be able to think for yourself whether this is really what you want to take your business to the next level. This is how you can reach us, and this is also some of our product again that we are involving. Thank you, Snabo, and this is the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Patience. Please, you can remove your presentation just after. We'll be back just after the jingle.
Yeah.
And then. Wow, very informative, very extremely informative. Thank you very much. I hope people that are listening are going to be sending questions via via Facebook. Now let's get back. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I, my understanding is that you are basically the bridge between Africa and Europe. You are doing a very good job. Thank you very much for being a supportive system. But we need just to get clarity for our listeners so that they get to understand how to go about and what they need to do to engage with you. One of the things that we've picked up from the presentation is that you guide the small commercial farmers on trade.
Yeah.
Do you communicate with them as individuals right now, or you've got a platform where you're engaging with the African commercial farmers?
Okay. Thank you, Snabo, again for having me. And this is really this topic couldn't have come for a much needed time. This is actually the time to talk about it. So how do we engage farmers? We engage farmers through our website. We also engage farmers through, because we try to make sure that even the way we communicate, we use WhatsApp in such a way that it really reach all villages. People talk to us. We have one-on-one and also a group call. So we actually, at the moment, we do through website, through our social media, because we are on LinkedIn, we are on Twitter, and we are on Facebook. So in any way, people can really get in contact with us. And also we try to do a lot of presentations in different on different platforms. For example, I've done a lot of presentation at the EU Tech, just trying to articulate what we need. And through this communication, people get in touch with me directly, like, okay, I want to talk to you after this presentation, like that. So I've also given a presentation at the Pan-African Farmers Organization, where I also try to talk to farmers, what we do and how we can assist them. So for the moment, the main channel of reaching us is through the website and also through direct connection.
Okay, thank you very much. Regulations. There's a lot of regulations that people must adhere to trade with the EU. What would you advise people to do now that we've picked up that you also got a training institute or academy that you're starting? Do you want people to engage with you still through the normal platforms, or you strongly suggest, which we would, listening to you, that training is the best route to go? What's your advice?
I strongly agree with you that training, because you can't do something that you don't know. Training is actually the key for everything that you want to do, and you want to really set yourself apart. I studied food law in international setting, meaning I really wanted to understand the laws that govern import export when it comes to trade. And this, I have really mastered these skills, but then putting it in action has really just given me a lot of joy doing that, and seeing the nuance, the things, the little things that we take for granted. And that is why I actually came up with this training program where I can put all this information together and really give it to exporters and also those sourcing from Africa as well, to be able to understand this is what you need to be able to get your product to Europe. So we have put up these training programs for importers, for exporters, for producers, for retailers, where if you register for this program, we'll be able to go into detail to explain to you exactly what you need to do. Like when it comes to regulation, the most important one that you need to know is food safety. Before anything crosses the border, be it organic or conventional, it has to be safe for the EU citizens. And that is the key. But then there are other regulations that are also involved in this process. And when you register for our training program, this is what will really guide you, show you what to do, guide you in the way. And if there is any changes when it comes to regulations, you will always be the first to know.
Yes, we, as PAICTA, we are aware, sitting here on our first day on our radio station, which we're very proud of, that you've made a difference to lots of small commercial farmers. We are aware because we've talked in the before getting into the studio, that you've helped farmers to export shea butter into Europe. You've assisted them to export mangoes from Kenya. And these are just examples. Your shea butter coming from Uganda. I'm sure all these people, before you dealt with them, they were still going the manual way of doing farming. Everything was still on paper. What would you say that was the importance of your engagement with them, as far as meeting the standards for them to be able to engage with at European level? The standards, the productivity, how do you ensure that they keep on to productivity, and that the quality is maintained, and the standard basically is adhered to?
Okay. Thank you for that question. And I really want to also congratulate PAITA for just for this platform. It is an amazing platform. What is it? As I said, information is key. And when you know something, then it really gives you that confidence to step into what you are doing in a whole new level. So what we do is that, like when you take, for example, the shea butter, the Nilotica shea butter, the women were producing it using the local method, and you see the quality of the product was not really, the color of the shea butter was really black. And then that is not really good when you want to put in creams like that in Europe. And so it didn't really meet the standards. So now with the cold press machine, you see that the standard of the butter has really taken a whole new level. You see that the butter is coming out white, quality that you can really integrate in creams or lotions seamlessly. And that is really what we want to set your product apart. And when it comes also to like avocados, of course, commodities that you don't process it, but just the fact that you have to wax the avocado to be able to preserve it from molds, so that in the course of exporting, it should still stay intact and then it shouldn't and maintain also the quality. In that case, you have to see whether which type of chemicals you are using to really preserve these avocados. So this is something that we try to ensure and really tell our producers what to do and what not to do, so that at the end of the day, your product should not be rejected at the port. Because when you send samples, they test it, and then this is what they want. And then when the bulk is coming, it should also be the same like the sample. And this is also the what we try to advise our cocoa farmers also in Cameroon, who are also exporting abroad, to make sure that the way they ferment the cocoa, the way they dry the cocoa, they should use standard technology in such a way that it doesn't leave that smoky taste or smoky smell when the cocoa is exported. That way just help to increase your profit margins and really set your product apart from the others.
So technology. So digitalization of the business is very important. It's critically important.
Yeah.
And I know this session, I promised you, we're not going to go deep into technology. We are going to go into technology in the next coming talk shows that I will follow this one every Tuesday. But I'm happy to hear. Um, Please, if you can share with us, there's there's a membership or partnership that you mentioned in passing with the EU.
Mhm.
If how costly is it if people are not dealing with you and they're going directly to the EU? Is it costly? Is it a manageable fee? What would you suggest?
Okay, going to the EU Tech, of course, this is what I encourage. I want you to register for the EU Tech platform and to be able to get from the horse's own mouth what their technology can do to you. I am not a tech company. I work with these tech companies. I try to understand their technology and then I explain it to the end users. And where do I source this technology? Of course, I work with people like PAICTA who are really expert in this domain, and I also work with the EU Tech. And the focus of the EU Tech is how to use technology to improve production, productivity, and value addition to your product so that it really stands out at the competitive level. So going to the EU is really an amazing idea, and this is also what I want to encourage you. But also becoming an advocate at the EU, you need like a registration fee, which my boss can also talk more about that one. But of course, we have our own part that we play. As I said at the beginning, we are not an EU, we are not a tech company. So we only try to assist you with the type of technologies that you need for your business and to link you to these tech companies so that they can go into the technicality of it. But when it comes to communicating this technology on how it will help your product, this is where we come in. And this is also the connection that we do. So coming to us or going to EU, it won't really, yeah, you just, it's just a matter of preference.
Okay. Thank you very much. Me listening to you, this is me listening to you. I've not listened to the EU. Right now, to people who are listening, I think Euro AfriLink is the way to go. I think because you understand, you're from Africa, you understand the needs of Africa and you understand them as African. I think it's an easier engagement, even if people end up paying for the membership with EU Tech. But I think people must deal with you so that there are no gray areas. Now, tell me, what is there a lot of youth that are in the agricultural space?
Yeah, the population of Africa itself is really majority are made up of the youth. And these youths, honestly speaking, they go to school. And when I look at the educational system, it is more like training youths to be able to go to be job seekers. But I don't look at it that way. I really want these youths to be job creators, so much so that they do something that they are passionate about in such a way that, because when you take, for example, how many million youths are in college, come to think of it, the government is not really able to provide like 6 million jobs every year for these youths that are graduating. So we have to look for a different way. And since agriculture is our core, our base in Africa, why not make it in an attractive way that these youths can be able to engage in it and be able to sustain themselves, especially through trade? Because I strongly believe trade is the very important weapon to empower anybody, be it the youth or the elderly people. When you sell and you get this profit from your trade, you'll be able to make decisions that you couldn't have otherwise done. So, and the youths, you see, they are very creative, very active. They have a lot of energy. And I really like working with them. They come with new perspective. And these are the type of people that we need to involve in our to bring out in our trade to take Africa to the whole new level. We can't do without the youth. This is our pillar and this is our future. So
Yes.
I really want them to be involved in agriculture, to be able to trade instead of just looking for help or aid like that. For me, trade is actually the best way to empower, be it the youth or elderly people.
Thank you very much. I think at this point, we need to say, as Radio 78.5, thank you very much for coming through as a guest. I think just for continuity into next week, Tuesday, our listeners will need clarity on few issues.
Yeah.
How do you assist the African people to be entrepreneurs? How do you empower women? You know, women is a very important gender partner in our continent.
Yeah.
How do you empower women, and how do you assist them to overcome certain challenges that are there in Africa? The skills that are needed, how do you impart these skills? And how does the local people, the way you see it, how do they impart the normal skills that they have on the ground into the youth, so that there's continuity into the future? Access to information, I think we need to go deep on access to information. How do you give this information? Is it in English, or what about people that did not have the privilege of going to school? How do you change it to dialects that exist in Africa? Or and you know and I think we need to go deeper into technology. It's important for, as you know, PAICTA's focus is technology. We enable agriculture. I'm sure we will agree, which is why we're here. And we've learned a lot from the information that you've imparted with us. So if we were to cover everything in one day, then we won't have anything to say for the next coming many weeks.
I totally agree with you. All these topics that you have touched on, they are really very, very important. I just want to also say that Eurafric Link was shortlisted as one of the 170 companies that were selected for the SDG Awards organized by the EU Tech. And what we went in for is our gender equality. So our goal is actually to empower women, and women make up the all SMEs in Africa make up majority are women, and that is what the statistics has shown. So I really want to make sure that as a woman you can succeed, you can do things that you don't really believe you'll be able to do on your own. Not
Mm.
that stereotype belief where it was just like, okay, woman can, but how I look at it is empowering you through what you do and what you do best. your trading.
Thank you.
How can I take this trading to the next level? So we are really just so happy to work as a group to empower each other. And this idea also of technology is something that you can't really escape if you want to take your
Yes.
production to the next level. So I'm really just so happy we'll be able to cover all this topic. It's just so much to take everything in just one sitting.
I can hear your passion, but we are running out of time. Thank you very much. We are looking forward to this partnership. For people who are listening, we are a partner of EuroAfriLink. If you've missed the beginning, it's an organization based in Netherlands, in the EU. And if you want patients to speak in, is it Netherlands? She can speak Netherlands for you and show, but we must never forget that this is a sister from Africa. She grew up, she was brought up, went to school in Cameroon. After the jingle, then we are going to say our goodbyes. I'm sure you want to hear the jingle that shows the avocados, that shows the mangoes and the pineapples.
Yeah, it's
For people who've missed the whole talk, it is on our Facebook and YouTube. I think at this point, we must thank everyone who made time. Let's thank Patience for the time that she has afforded us. Thank you very much, Patience. You can wrap up in 1-2 minutes and we can call it a day. We will meet again next Tuesday. After Patience's wrap up, then goodbye from my side. I am going online again with a discussion on tech power talk on cybersecurity. Look out for that one. It's coming up in the next coming 5 minutes. Patience.
Thank you, Snabo, and thank you, PAICTA, for organizing this amazing platform. As I said from the beginning, this is really a game changer. And with this platform, we can really use it to uncover the potentials of the African continent. So thank you very much for having me. I'm really honored to be here.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Keep well. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.